2 Kings 13. And Elisha died, and they buried him, and the raiding bands from Moab invaded the land in the spring of the year. So it was, as they were burying a man, that suddenly they spied a band of raiders, and they put the man in the tomb of Elisha. And when the man was let down and touched the bones of Elisha, he revived and stood on his feet. King of Syria oppressed Israel all the days of Jehoahaz, but Yahweh was gracious to them, and had compassion on them, and regarded them because of his covenant with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and would not destroy them or cast them from his presence. 2 Kings 14. Yahweh saw that the affliction of Israel was very bitter, and whether bond or free, there was no helper for Israel. And Yahweh did not say that he would blot out the name of Israel from under heaven, but he saved them by the hand of Jeroboam, son of Joash. 2 Kings 15, no comment. 2 Kings 16, no comment. 2 Kings 17. In the 9th year of Hoshea, the king of Assyria took Samaria and carried Israel away to Assyria. For so it was that the sons of Israel had sinned against Yahweh their God, who had brought them up out of the land of Egypt, from under the hand of Pharaoh king of Egypt, and they had feared other gods, and had walked in the statutes of the nations whom Yahweh had cast out from before the sons of Israel, and of the kings of Israel which they had made. And the sons of Israel secretly did things that were not right against Yahweh their God, and they built for themselves high places in all their cities, from watchtower to fortified city, and they set up for themselves sacred pillars and wooden images on every high hill, and under every green tree, and they burned incense there on all the high places, like the nations whom Yahweh had carried away before them, and they did wicked things to provoke Yahweh to anger, for they served idols, of which Yahweh had said to them, You shall not do this thing. And yet Yahweh testified against Israel and against Judah by all of his prophets, every seer, saying, Turn from your evil ways, and keep my commandments and my statutes, according to all the law which I commanded your fathers, and which I sent to you by my servants the prophets. Nevertheless they would not hear, but stiffened their necks, like the necks of their fathers, who did not believe in Yahweh their God. So they left all the commandments of Yahweh their God, and made for themselves a molded image, 2 calves, and made a wooden image, and worshipped all the host of heaven, and served Baal. And they caused their sons and daughters to pass through the fire, and practiced witchcraft and soothsaying, and sold themselves to do evil in the sight of Yahweh, to provoke him to anger. Therefore Yahweh was very angry with Israel, and removed them from his sight. There was none left but only the tribe of Judah. Also Judah did not keep the commandments of Yahweh their God, but walked in the statutes of Israel which they made. And Yahweh rejected all the descendants of Israel, and afflicted them, and delivered them into the hand of plunderers, until he had cast them from his sight. So Israel was carried away from their own land to Assyria, as it is to this day. Yahweh your God you shall fear, and he will deliver you from the hand of all your enemies. However, they did not obey, but their former rituals they followed. So these nations feared Yahweh, and yet served their carved images.